The managing members of Urbanetectonics LLC have been bootstrappers, investing and reinvesting each business year. This idea at the center of our pricing structure, operating style, and even which memberships to acquire is that every project must pay for itself. The business has to pay for itself, and the memberships must pay for themselves. This financial philosophy leads the firm in keeping operating cost, pricing structure, and membership subscriptions within our means. We provide discounts, deals, and packages that we can comfortably absorb. The firm hasn't taken on any debt service, doesn't have outstanding debts, and is cash flow sensitive. We believe that you should know and understand how we view and structured our pricing guide. We began distributing a pricing guide about 5 years ago that outlines per industry, service offering, and fee benchmarks. If your role includes annual operational budgeting, a general rule is to set aside up to 10% of your gross net revenue per year for our management consultant services. Here's a quick look at the price guide and a more detailed explanation of how to read and understand the guide. By logging on to our website, www.urbanetek2.com, you can go to the quick links, click the price e-guide, and the pricing guide will appear. Pricing guide is a digital document. You can use this zoom in tool to zoom in so that you can actually see the font, because the font is rather small on the guide, looking at it in a digital format. So as I zoom in, then I can use the arrow to turn the page, to zoom in, then use an arrow to pan over. And as you can see with the guide, it starts out, it's 13 pages. And it starts out with you have a headings that talks about entity of size, which is a little bit outdated here, and the fee variation is also outdated here. But the information in terms of product, service, name, the division in which that service falls within, and then some generic product numbers, and then some of the graphic representations. Some of our services do have some service marks or some trademarks, service marks associated with it. Most of our divisions, some of our divisions as well, have their own logo and have their own slogans and have their own branding identity. So you'll see in the division brand, division or brand, those logos or those brand identities within that column. And then any graphic representation, if it's a service, identification will be in the graphic representation column. So if you're looking for a particular service, you can go into the second column. If you are looking for a particular division, which we have the consulting division here, the business services, construction services, hospitality services. As we turn the page, you can see some more consulting services, and these go into the business services. Then technology services with Cube Engineered Solutions, business services with 412 Investments, consulting services with the BomaQ companies. Let's go back here and just specify a little bit. Construction services with BomaQ Construction, hospitality services with Hotel Bank Unlimited. Then we have some educational services with Gamma Learning, more technology services with Cube Engineered Solutions, digital services, multimedia services with Mac Productions. some design services with UT Squared Design, surface printed, surface pattern products available with UT Squared Design. And then the final page outlines some other services with Hotel Bank Unlimited, which is hospitality, the BomaQ companies under consulting, and then BomaQ construction, construction services with under BomaQ construction. And so it is a pretty lengthy price guide, but that is how it is organized. I hope that detailed explanation will help you navigate the price guide a little better. It is important to be able to recognize our divisions, brands, and our industries. But if you're having problems with that, reach out to us and we'll be able to step you through the core services and make sure you're in the right industries. But with that said, I'd like to kind of review what those divisions, brands, and industries are. And these will be duplicated within the price guide. And so you'll see this logo, the BomaQ companies, that represents this consulting division. The BomaQ companies is the brand, and consulting is the division. So consulting is the division as well as the industry, and the brand is the BomaQ companies. UT Squared Design is the brand for our design division. That's also the industry. BomaQ Construction is the brand for, this is the brand logo for the construction division as well as the industry. Mac Productions, Multimedia is the division. The industry as well is multimedia, marketing, all things graphic design. We have some 3D design in there, surface patterns. There's a lot of industries that fall under multimedia and even design. So there's a lot of industries that fall under these two umbrellas. But we separate some of the more of the technical digital multimedia from some of the at times physical product items, manufactured items by those two brands. Hospitality division is represented by Hotel Bank, the brand Hotel Bank, and that's also the industry. And then we got Gamma Learning that represents, is the brand that represents the education division as well as the education industry. Then we have Cube Engineered Solution is our brand for all things technology, industry and division. Business Services is represented by 412 Investments brand. The brand is actually green, but since we had a little conflict within the price guide where Cube was represented by green, we had to switch these out. So you'll see some purple in there sometimes in some of the videos and so type of thing. We switched to purple for 412 Investments, but it actually, the logo is green. But our business services, some of detailed business services and some of the development industries, smart biz faxes when businesses are exiting and when they're exiting their business and trying to package their real property and intellectual property and some of their systems for exiting a business. So that brand represents those types of services. So again, if you do not know our division brands and industries and don't know our service marks or our logos, and you're still trying to navigate all that, don't let that prohibit you from reaching out and acquiring assistance to connect the right service to your need.